Hello and welcome. We're going to get into another video. And today's we're going to talk about the top teams in the Sunshine Cup. Sunshine Cup is actually one of the most fun cups that I've ever played. It's actually fun because the main Pokemon in this cup is going to be Quagsire and Cradily, and those two will be in every team. But that's not it. Like, those two are very solid, but that doesn't mean they are the only solid Pokemon. In fact, they are some of the strongest in this cup, and there are some Pokemons that I'm gonna use for the first time ever, and some Pokemons that I did want to use in the past and I didn't end up using, so most likely I will end up using them in this cup. So what's Sunshine Cup? Basically, Pokemon must be below 1500 because it's a Great League format, and they must be normal, fire, grass, and ground. So as you can see, why Quag is good, because Quag beats the normal, beats the fire, beats the ground, beats the grass. If Quag beats the grass, since when? My Quag does it. If your Quag doesn't do it, that's your problem. Okay, I think Charizard is banned. I did not double check, but I think it's actually banned. So I'm just gonna divide them into different categories, but let's just take a look at the PvPoke ranking. Cradily is number 1, followed by Colossal, and then there is Toucannon, there is Oranguru, there is Quagsire, there is Ferret, there is Miltank, there is Blaziken Shadow with Ember Aura Sphere, and Blast Burb, and there is Pidgeot. Now the problem with Pidgeot I see here is that they aren't running Gust and they aren't using the Shadow, so I am sure that this rank is still not correct, because you're supposed to use Gust, Pidgeot, Shadow. There is Gligar, Shadow, Turtonator, there is a Gligar, Blaziken, Licky. Now Licky is a beast in Great League. The thing about Licky, it's not as solid in this cup, because there are so many ground type resist rollout, right? There are so many rock type as well, and you made a mistake thinking that rock resist rock. It actually doesn't. So yeah, I think Licky is solid. I just think that there might be some better stuff to use, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be using it. In fact, I think if you take one of the teams that I will suggest today and replace one of the Pokemons with Licky, you will end up with better teams than the ones that I will suggest. Now the ground type here, something to mention: don't use this guy, it's nerfed. You can go with 1, 2, 3. I've seen people using Gligar in the past. I think it's spicy because you have to rely on Fury Cutter. I'm not sure if people actually run Wing Attack anymore. And the grass type, there is one Pokemon, which is Cradily. There is another Pokemon, which is Abomasnow, you could actually use. In the fire type, there is Colossal. It's not here for some reason. There is Ninetales, there is Macargo, and Talonflame, like some of the solid ones. And the normal type, I think Pidgeot and Ferret are some of the best too. This Pokemon got demolished with nerfs, man. So yeah. Number 1 Pokemon according to PvPoke is Cradily. So if I use Cradily, what would I use? I would actually use it with Oranguru and Macargo. Is Oranguru the best? No, there is another Pokemon that could replace Oranguru. It's actually better, but I just don't have it. So you guys are stuck with my suggestion. No, I will actually suggest it later in the video. Cradily, you run Acid with Rock Tomb, Grass Knot, Oranguru. It's a Confusion user. And in this cup, nothing resists Confusion, and Confusion was buffed as last time, as I was aware. I think it got buffed to match Volta Switch. So you're just gonna spam Trailblaze, and keep buffing your Confusion. And with Macargo, please don't run Incinerate, okay? Just run Ember, Rock Tomb, Overheat. Now, as far as the Colossal, so the main idea about this team is that we have 3 Pokemons that count as those, okay? So those 3 counted by those. So this is just to tell you that this is going to be the most meta team. This is going to be the most anti-meta. So Colossal, yeah. So I was saying the name correctly. Fire Spin, Rock Slide, Flame Charge. Now Fire Spin, Flame Charge might not be the best, and also it doesn't have a cheap move, but this team relies on the bulk. This team relies on getting Trailblaze boosts, and a Quagsire in the back. With the Quagsire, run Mud Shot, Stone Edge, Aqua Tail. Please don't run Mud Bomb. It's kind of redundant in this cup. Aqua Tail is just better coverage. Well, it's not better coverage. It's just a cheaper move, and you kind of need Stone Edge because there are some flyers in this cup. Speaking of flyers, the flyer I'm talking about is Shadow to Cannon. It's so frail of a Pokemon, so be aware of that. So it has Beak Blast, Drill Peck. I've used this Pokemon Ultra League, and man, I've seen some damage that I've never seen in the Ultra League. I was seeing this Pokemon KOing things that resist this charge move. That's how nuts it is. As far as Quagsire, it's just a great Pokemon in this cup, to be honest. Ninetales is kind of like a great swap in this cup, kind of a safe Pokemon that dish out lots of neutral damage. Speaking of not neutral damage, we have a Clodsire. Clodsire, it's not Quag, okay? Quag is more of like an annoying version, but Clodsire is kind of like the bulky one, okay? You can run Poison Sting, Stone Edge, Earthquake. Why not Mudshot? Mainly because of the flyers, because there are flyers in this cup. And Poison Sting is kind of, you know, better flying coverage with Earthquake, and you please run Stone Edge, okay? Please run Stone Edge. Can you run Sludge over Earthquake? Please don't do that. With Obama Snow, what does Obama Snow do? Obama Snow is kind of safe into everything, to be honest. Like, yeah, you lose to the fire, but that's pretty much it. The match against Clodsire, well, technically you do super effective damage back, so it's not the end of the world. Now, moving into the next one, speaking of Shadow Pidgeot. Now, with Pidgeot, use Gust, Shadow. Shadow Pidgeot with Gust. Now, if you want to use Pidgeot, there is like a team that was very popular at one point, which is Pidgeot Double Ground. But I am not a ABB Andy, so I would rather just run ABC or ABA, to be honest. And if you're on Pidgeot, you need a ground type, so if you don't want to use Quag, you can use a Swampert instead. And as a third, you could just throw in a Ferret. With Ferret, you can be creative and run Brick Break instead of running Trailblaze, because Brick Break, I think, reduce the defense of the opponent, something like that. So that's something you can keep in mind. I used actually this team last time we had Sunshine Cup, and it was actually great. Like, if it's a bad lead, I was using Talonflame in the lead, 2 shielding Talonflame, and those 2 were literally just things I used to just keep dancing around and, you know, exhaust my opponent so they can miscount here and there until, like, I just bring in Talonflame, keep incinerating everything down, Flame Charge here to make Incinerate do more damage. So it's a solid team. If you don't like Credilli, you could just opt with the Shadow Diggersby. Why Shadow? I just like the extra damage from the Shadow, to be honest. Like it's just a, I don't know. That's my personal perspective. With this team, I prefer the Shadow Diggersby. Now, remember when I told you about Oranguru? The Pokemon I meant was Shadow Girafarig. I don't think I have one. I might have one with like a horrible IV, to be honest, but not sure. I need to double check. So Girafarig has Psychic Fang, Confusion, Trailblaze. So you have 2 options: debuff the opponent or boost yourself. Okay, and Girafarig is kind of like a frail Pokemon, so that's like with that's its strength. Usually, frail Pokemon does lots of damage. So if they are switch locked, you can just go with Psychic Fang. And man, you're gonna see Pokemons melting down with the Shadow Confusion. It's one of my favorite Pokemons to use in this cup. Well, I don't have it. I usually coach people with it. Anything else? A spicy Pokemon? Yes, there is a Starmie or a Staravia, which is the second evolution of a Staraptor. It's very difficult to get because you need a Shadow Hundo. I have a 15-15-10, I think. That's my best one. So I was like, I don't know if I want to invest that much dust into it. It has Quick Attack, Brave Bird, and Fly. At one point was one of the best, but I think now Pidgeot is just a straight better. But if you want to use some spicy stuff, it's actually one of the best spicy Pokemons. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like the content, make sure to leave a like. For new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.